For over a decade, Megan Fox has served as a global benchmark for physical beauty. Her features have become a standardized reference point for modern attractiveness across film and media. Yet public figures who meet these high standards, like Robert Pattinson or Billie Eilish, frequently report intense appearance anxiety. Eilish describes her experience as a horrible body relationship that persists regardless of her fame. This disconnect is characteristic of body dysmorphic disorder, or BDD. It is a mental health condition where a person fixates on perceived physical flaws to the point that it interferes with their daily functioning. In a brain affected by BDD, the perceptual system filters out 99% of a reflection. It hyperfixates on a single data point, a minor or imagined asymmetry, and processes it as a catastrophic deformity. While the observer sees a complete and often attractive face, the person in the mirror experiences that one node as an all-consuming reality. To everyone else, the perceived flaw remains microscopic or non-existent. When the world's most idolized individuals feel physically unacceptable, it suggests that the distress originates in neural processing rather than in the skin or bone. These distortions often begin with developmental trauma. Childhood bullying, for instance, can create a deep-seated need to withdraw from public view, leading people to use oversized, baggy clothing as a physical and psychological shield. Specific physical triggers during adolescence also play a role. A temporary breakout of acne can become a permanent psychological anchor, leaving a person's self-image suppressed long after their skin has cleared. Environments that are highly restrictive or religiously dogmatic may also contribute. If a child's body is either heavily scrutinized or entirely unacknowledged, they may grow into an adult with a hypervigilant, obsessive awareness of their physical self. Modern digital environments then amplify these vulnerabilities. Comparison-based algorithms ensure that any existing insecurity is met with a constant stream of curated, high-performance images. This creates a digital mirror effect. When filters offer an impossible algorithmic standard, it becomes increasingly difficult to accurately perceive your unedited self. BDD is the result of these external pressures, from family, media, and social circles, gradually hijacking the brain's internal narrative. When internal self-worth collapses, many seek a physical fix. This often manifests as the Brad Pitt delusion, the belief that a single cosmetic procedure will act as the key to resolving an internal psychological crisis. Modern Family actor Reed Ewing followed this logic. At 19, he began a series of plastic surgeries with cheek implants that left him feeling hollow, beginning a cycle of physical and mental distress. This often turns into a botched cycle. Patients seek additional surgeries to correct perceived issues caused by previous ones, attempting to use scalpels to solve a problem rooted in the mind. Clinical negligence often fuels this. Too often, medical professionals perform these procedures while ignoring the clear indicators of a patient's underlying depression or dysmorphia. The search for a physical solution also drives extreme dietary behaviors. Billie Eilish recounted taking diet pills as young as 12 years old, hoping a physical change would quiet the internal noise. Ultimately, surgeries and restrictive dieting act as horrible hobbies. They address surface-level symptoms while allowing the underlying mental illness to expand unchecked. Living with BDD involves taxing daily rituals. It can mean hours spent on hair and makeup, repeated crying in bathroom stalls, and a constant, paralyzing fear of bad skin days. This burden frequently leads to total isolation. A person might refuse to leave their home or be photographed because they are convinced their appearance is disgusting. This is a state of genuine psychological agony. The brain weaponizes perception, trapping the individual in a loop of perceived inadequacy that others cannot see. Professional help becomes essential when this obsession starts to interfere with a person's livelihood, their relationships, or their basic ability to function in a room with a mirror. Classifying BDD as a legitimate psychological pain is the first requirement for recovery. It validates the struggle and moves the focus away from vanity and toward the necessary clinical protocols. Managing BDD requires an active protocol. This begins by recognizing that self-acceptance is a constant practice, a skill to be maintained rather than a fixed destination. One tactile tool is the mirror protocol. When a person begins to spiral, they can physically cover or remove mirrors to prevent the compulsive checking that feeds the disorder. Grounding habits also help reconnect the individual to their physical reality. Taking a bath, reading, or practicing focused breathing can shift the focus from a distorted visual to a calming physical sensation. Digital curation is equally important. This involves aggressively unfollowing accounts that promote ideal body shapes or otherwise trigger self-hatred. For many, celebrating a healthy relationship with food is a direct counterattack against BDD-driven eating disorders. It involves actively choosing to eat and rejecting the concept of a singular ideal body shape. Establishing these physical and digital boundaries creates the quiet space necessary for the mind to begin recalibrating its self-perception. The core mantra of this recovery is simple: I am enough just as I am. Daily self-affirmation is required, particularly when the internal voice is critical. You have to remind yourself that your value is inherent, regardless of your size or appearance. The 5-minute rule helps manage the larger struggle. Rather than worrying about the rest of your life, you focus only on moving through the next 5 minutes with compassion for yourself. The process of self-acceptance is ongoing, and while it may be never-ending, it becomes manageable through these small, repetitive acts of self-care. Recovery relies on a gradual redirection of energy, shifting the focus away from the reflection in the glass and toward healing the underlying internal distress.